Jeez, it's so stormy tonight. I was gonna go buy some candy, but is it even worth it right now? A visitor so late? Nah, there's no way this is good. Anything could be behind that door. I gotta play it safe. Nobody's home right now.
You stupid.
That was probably the worst thing I could have said. I don't even know what to say. I must be lucky. A being of such prestigious stature is visiting me? Of course. This is going to be the story of the Dullahan, Witch Milady, and the whole Halloween event. This is according to Doc, who is Dullahan King. I want to share the story because it is some new lore about the event. Milady did the same thing as Arthas' grand plan in World of Warcraft almost to the T. She sent travelers to find her 500 candies spread throughout each respective land. She had the potential to change people into Dullahans back in Gaia, but knew that anyone in Gaia still had the potential to grow, so the ambience of the land is just an excuse she used. Those that she deemed worthy and dedicated enough to fall into her sweet trap were transformed into Dullahans. What Witch Milady attempted to do was create Tulpaic servants bonded to her, yet still mortal. Being half mortal proved to be a major boon for Milady. These created Dullahans were intended to sustain faith in her, allowing her to keep her form past the time in which anything Halloween-esque had already ceased to exist. As long as they were bound to her will, then she would never lose form. Since Dullahans were half Tulpa, they were also able to live indefinitely, hence why Dullahans don't just rot and die after a while. They were also shaped in the image of her apprentice, Jack-o'-lantern, who was a Halloween Tulpa of the Stranger's Grove. They resemble the true Dullahan, yet have some defects. Some have blue lights, and others have yellow lights. Milady was never able to completely change mortals into the exact form of her apprentice, yellow plus blue equals green. Therefore, they were never able to reach the potential of Jack-o'-lantern, which had vampirism. Witch Milady made one grievous mistake before Halloween went away, after she began to create artificial Dullahans. She had never included her apprentice within the plan. She didn't need something in which she could not control, a Tulpa just as capable as her, to share in the glory of her newfound empire. So she planned on leaving Dullahan Jack to rot with the Grove. Both Jack and Milady are evil. Anything that comes from the Grove is innately evil. The pool of blood? Jack's idea. The cemetery? Milady's idea to deposit the heads of her newly transformed. Both Jack and Milady are schemers. Milady always believed that she was the first idea manifested within the Grove, that she was the oldest. Jack never corrected her. Anywho, after catching wind of her plan, Jack-o'-lantern backstabs Milady at the peak of both of their power, at Halloween night, and dissipates her corporeal form. The artificial Dullahans were freed from her will, but only for a passing moment. Jack makes a deal with the artificial Dullahan Empire that if he gets rid of Milady's control over them, then they must kneel to him. They will not be bound by his will, but they will serve it. Lo and behold, they agree to their savior's bargain and name him the Dullahan King. Halloween is over, and it's up to him to kill her once again, every year. That is the sacrifice with what the Dullahans endure. Come Halloween 2020, Jack, the monster hunter with a scythe at the time, fights Milady on a one-on-one and manages to kill her once again, taking her broom of flight as one of his rewarded spoils. Pumpkin rot is the rot that comes from within Jack-o'-lantern's Tulpaic form, always on the verge of dissipating should any artificial Dullahan or common passerby cease to lose belief in him. The buildup of his rot has the ability to infect the souls of other mortal beings. This infection forces one's soul to become subordinate to his will. It keeps whatever faith there is of him alive, and even more so. As one's own soul tries to fight off this Tulpaic corruption, the physical host of Pumpkin Rot will become pale and start to go slightly mad. It will be able to perceive the Halloween realm of Jack and Milady as well. Eventually, the Pumpkin Rot builds up within them, and their soul's last chance at fighting it back, but with a little bit more force. Rushing to anyone that's around, a victim will push out the Pumpkin Rot and let it seep into the souls of others. A corrupted soul ain't good for your health, you know. Lastly, Dullahans are immortal, but not invincible. Dullahan kind, whether artificial or authentic, all have a unique reincarnation. When the corporeal form is destroyed, a new hollow form is manifested somewhere in their plane of existence. The soul of the Dullahan is either shot into the ether and searches for a headless host to take over the body of. This is why the light soul of Dullahan does not come to be unless they have maxed out their mana. Upon reaching this specific capability for a body, the specific soul that matches it will be magnetized to it, basically returning it to its original shell. If multiple Halloweens are hollow, then each will probably show different capabilities like EXP, outfits, classes, playstyles that are directly in tune with the soul that their bodies were reincarnated for. If Jack-o'-lantern ceases to have a corporeal form, then this law of shell to soul attraction is no different. This is why his shell form of vampirism, before his incorporeal form can find his body, as it is a premonition that he will be taking it over. To keep the preservation of his form, Jack-o'-lantern will affect all of Gaia/K/any realm that knows of Halloween, not just because he's afraid of ceasing to exist. He knows that if any plan fails, he can always come back next Halloween, like his counterpart, Witch Milady. Jack just enjoys seeing those infected suffer with a fraction of his force of will seeping into their dormant souls. The Gaia/K wars of orderly/purity and chaotic/corruption make little difference to Jack. He is neutral on these fronts as long as they're suffering and there is bloodshed to go around. But remember, Jack embodies the spirit of Halloween, so his personality reflects that of the phrase trick or treat. Sometimes he'll do things to help others around him. Other times he won't. Just like the demons in Dungeons & Dragons, Jack Hexbane can be summoned from the Halloween dimension whenever one calls out his true name. Only those of the Lich race have been able to figure it out. Calling out the true name of Jack Hexbane is what leads to the domination of his will for a short duration of time. In that duration, before being sent to wherever they were, the Summer can do whatever they wish with Jack. Other Dullahans, still being connected to the mortal coil of these worlds, have different interests and motivations in mind. They still have the free will to decide on what front they may choose to be in. And that's the full story on Halloween event and Dullahans.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for. But this is exactly what I've been waiting for.
You are watching a master at work.
See the shoes, I see the money.
I'm still outside with the grip. What you expect, my jewelry?
Thank you guys for watching, and make sure you support this video with likes and subscriptions if you'd like more content similar to this. Have a nice Halloween and stay safe.
I miss the old Punchy, straight out of cash Punchy, dug it merge Punchy, on his grind Punchy. I hate the new Punchy, the low views Punchy, the always lose Punchy, selling in twos Punchy. I miss the meek Punchy, helping the seas Punchy. I gotta say, at that time I'd like to meet Punchy. See, I invented Punchy, it wasn't any Punchy, and now I look around and there's so many Punchy. I used to love Punchy, I used to love Punchy. I even had the taped up headset, thought I was Punchy. What if Punchy made a video about Punchy? Gotta miss the old Punchy, man, that'd be so Punchy. That's all it was, Punchy. We still love Punchy, and I love you like Punchy loves Punchy.